Good morning, and welcome to our first Clapford online worship. Hope to do one every couple of weeks or so. I don't know what stories we're going to have, but I think today I found a story which I remember from growing up, and is one that reminds me of the sorts of times we're going through now. It's all about actually DIY. Has anyone ever heard of DIY? I reckon there's lots of people at home whose mums and dads are doing DIY at the moment. First of all, you can see I've lit my candle in the corner here, just to remind us that Jesus is the light of the world, but also to remind us that there are still some things, although we can do them at school in our worships, we can also do them at home as well. Maybe you could light a candle at home. So, the story I'm going to read for you today is called, and some of you might know this already, The Enormous Turnip. Once upon a time, a farmer sowed some turnip seed in the garden. After a few days, some shoots began to grow up, but one seed grew faster than the rest. It grew, and it grew, and it grew, and it did not stop growing. In fact, it grew so large, it grew under the ground and seemed to be almost as large as a small shed. Well, the leaves were like a bush, and the sprout at the top was like a tree. And the time came when the farmer decided it was time to pull the turnip up and eat. Well, going to the vegetable patch, he rolled up his sleeves and he took a firm grasp of the turnip and he pulled. And he pulled. And he gave a big shout, "Pull!" But no, he couldn't pull up the enormous turnip. The farmer called to his partner. "Please come and help me," he said. "Come on, I've got this enormous turnip." And she came out. And she grabbed hold of the farmer's waist and sat behind him. And she pulled as well. Pull! 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 Nothing. As hard and as try as they might, they weren't able to pull the enormous turnip. So then the farmer's son came to his sister, called to him as well and said, "Do you want some help, Dad?" And his sister came out and she said, "Do you want some help, Dad?" And they grabbed hold of the mum and the four of them pulled together as a family. "Pull! Pull!" they all shouted. But still, the turnip stayed in the ground. A friendly dog stopped at the garden and saw what was going on. The farmer's daughter called out, "Please, please come and help us." "Ruff, ruff, ruff, ruff," said the dog, and it leapt up to the aid of the farmer. It held the daughter by the back of her dress and gave a big yank, and before you know it, pull, pull, nothing, still nothing. I couldn't believe it either. Just then there was a squeak. "Squeak, squeak, squeak." "What was that?" they said, and they looked to the floor, and there, running along the ground by the turnip, was a little mouse. Well, the little mouse squeaked in such a manner that led the farmer to believe that the mouse was offering to help too. So the mouse and the dog and the daughter and the son and the farmer's partner and the farmer all pulled together. Pull, 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 and wow, out it came. And everyone landed in a big pile, the mouse at the bottom squeaking his head off. It's an old story that, but when I think about that, I think about the things that it's trying to teach us. You know, sometimes, like at the moment, we've got lots of really big tasks to do. Some of us are learning at home and are starting some very different timetables for the day. Other people in your families might be doing jobs that are really important out in the world. Other people might be trying to do jobs at home while looking after the children in the house. It's a really difficult time. But the thing the story reminds me is in the enormous turnip, they were able to pull the turnip out by working together as a team. And it seems amazing to me that in the story, the mouse was the absolute weakest animal in terms of his strength they could add to his pulling. And the mouse would have had no chance of pulling out a normal turnip. But in the story, until the mouse helped, the turnip wasn't able to come out of the ground. I think that reminds us that even if we do like a really small part, that can be the thing that really helps everybody achieve their goals. I wonder what you thought when you listened to the story. There's a prayer that goes with it. I'm going to read it now. Dear God, please help us to learn to work together. May we never be too proud to ask for help. May we never hesitate to give help. Thank you for the ways in which we will help and have helped one another today. Amen. Got some music to follow this week. We've got some children singing we've recorded. I'll try and get that onto our YouTube channel later in the week. Hope you enjoyed the story. I'm going to say, may peace be with you. And if you want to join in like we do in school, then at home you can say, and peace be with you. That's up to you if you want to join in or not. If not, I'll see you all again soon. Peace be with you.